Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beers and Boost. I'm Barry.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Nathan.
So, not much in the way of recall news this week. We've got one. It's a fairly important one, though. Hyundai is recalling the 2006 to 2009 Hyundai Santa Fe's. It's an old recall, but it checks out. Turns out the older Santa Fe's, the ones with the ABS, have defects where the ABS system could short circuit and cause a fire. So, take a shot.
Awesome.
Pretty standard nowadays, I feel. Everything just causes fire. It's only affecting about 9,000 vehicles. And to keep your Santa Fe from catching fire, keep it parked away from other items. Keep it dry. Keep it outside, not in the garage. Which you can't control the weather, so it's probably going to get wet, and it's probably going to be near a tree, and someone else is going to pull into your driveway, so good luck. Hopefully Hyundai will have the parts lined out and everything going in July. We'll see. We don't have a definite date, but we have a vague idea. So
I parked my Santa Fe right between the big propane tank and this big pile of wood chips.
Yep, that's the safest place for it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You are wanting a bonfire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying we should go get a whole pig and make a spit roast.
Ooh.
Yeah. Just put it over the Santa Fe.
Exactly.
Don't mind the gasoline fumes.
Oddly enough, I've got a brisket on the smoker right now. It's been going for 4 hours.
That's gonna be good.
So I have some shawarma marinating.
I've never
in
had
the
shawarma.
fridge. Never have either. We're gonna try it.
Let me know
It's
how it
good.
goes.
Do some shawarma and broccolini on the grill tonight. So
Nice. I've never
Figure
made
that
it,
out.
but I've had it once before. It's good.
Mhm.
Or at least it was good the one time I had it.
Well, technically shawarma is a loaf, but we're just marinating beef with the shawarma marinade, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
So
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Any kind of dough to put it in?
what?
Are you having
Would
any kind of dough to put it in, or are you just going to eat it?
I'm trying to go like no carb these days. So
Okay.
Eileen may make some flatbread for herself. She makes some really good flatbread, but I'm just
Nathan?
gonna go with what?
I've got some bad news about the beer episode if you're going no carb. There's carbs in beer.
Honestly, beer is the reason I'm going no carb. That way I can actually have the beer. But yeah, no. I'm gonna miss the flatbread.
Mm-hmm.
Sad times.
Some things that we won't be missing soon are restaurants, breweries, things like that, as you know, the US is starting to open back up and be away from its lockdown.
Yeah,
We
like
weren't
we had
ever
one.
really actually on one. But
No.
anyway, that's slowly starting to happen. But apparently, some byproduct of us not going anywhere and not doing anything was, bettering the environment, keeping the health of our Earth down by having lower CO2 emissions. Somehow, some way, that was actually hurting the compressed gas companies and the meat factories. So much so that that was in turn hurting our seltzer communities, our beer communities, and our soda communities because they didn't have anything to force carbonate with.
Hold up, meat?
Yeah, meat. Apparently, you need forced carbonation in your meat. Maybe you shouldn't be eating that kind of meat. I don't know. Or maybe they're a byproduct of the two companies. They work together because of all the methane. I don't know.
Have you not had Oscar Mayer's new seltzer?
No, I hadn't heard of this.
I love a good fizzy steak.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Upload on Amazon Prime?
I've watched the first episode. It was good.
Yeah, we finished it last night, but I love all of the company crossovers. Like Oscar Mayer is, well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but Oscar Mayer's in there and it's hilarious. And then there's AT&T and T.
That's funny.
TNT.
Yes,
I like that.
That's good. It's good.
it's
I
pretty
just,
good.
I
to
just
finish
am
it.
still waiting on. I'm still waiting on Taco Bell to win the franchise wars and be the only restaurant left in America. Have you seen Demolition Man? Please see.
No.
Please tell me. Oh,
It's been a long time, but
that's one of the jokes of Demolition Man is he gets frozen and unthawed in the future, and the only restaurant left in America is Taco Bell because there was literally a franchise war, and they won.
Interesting.
Yeah.
he doesn't know how to
Well,
use the free shells.
All of them right now are suffering with the lack of meat. So we'll see how that goes.
Taco Bell
which-
doesn't use meat, so
Yeah.
I made some vegan sausage this morning.
Ooh, yes.
was horrible. It was
What?
I got it from I got a package of it from Whole Foods. Just some
Which
vegan
kind?
Italian. I'd have to go look at the
What is it?
label.
The tofurkey Italian? Because that's what I just picked up for the first time, and
It it was I mean it was tofu based, but I don't remember. Um,
there's
the
like,
the the issue was not the taste so much. The taste was very subtle. Like it was like definitely just like tofu,
uh
some tomato, like and some herb. Uh, the texture, like
Mm-hmm.
when it has nothing like the texture of actual sausage, that throws me off. Like so.
the ones that I love to eat vegan meat. I don't like do it all
Mhm.
the time, but I like to supplement, some meat with some vegan stuff. And I get the vegan sausage, the sage and apple one.
Mm.
They come in like the four like packet links or whatever, but they're sage and apple. They're one of the best ones. The texture isn't completely meat-like, but the flavor is really good. But hopefully I didn't get what you got, and it's going to be terrible because it's the
Well,
first one I've ever gotten this one.
I was cooking it to like put to slice it up and then put it in things like an omelet or something like that. And then I was just like, well, I might as well before I actually put it in a whole dish, like try a piece of it as I was slicing it up. And I was just like, no, no.
This is a
Then
good
I gave it to
lesson.
Eileen and she was like, no.
When you're cooking, taste as you go.
Yes, always. Anyway, away from cooking and back into cars, the Hummer EV, unlike the Lincoln EV, didn't actually get killed off. GM has announced that the development is still underway, and the reveal has just been delayed a couple days. We'll finally get to see the unveiling of the new Hummer EV on May 20th. So,
It's not too far
roughly
off.
next week. So,
Yeah, next Wednesday.
yeah, we'll see how that goes. GM's first ever giant EV SUV. So,
We know
eh,
they build big cars. They can do that well. Their EVs are decent, so it might work.
What which which Hummer body are they using for this?
I think
Do
it's
we
all
remember?
new.
I think it's
It's
an
all
all
new.
new, yeah, but
All new.
it's
Okay.
similar to the H3, but
Okay, so the smaller one,
Yeah,
right?
slightly
Well,
smaller
the
in relation to the
smaller.
H1 and H2.
smallest one,
Yes,
not small.
yeah. From the concept photos, it's a smaller Hummer, but it's still a Hummer.
The least gigantic one.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
They're just buying parts from Tesla and then putting an H1 body on it. That's all they're doing. Honestly, that probably wouldn't be that
That
bad.
probably work.
Terrible. That's not terrible.
Throw an H1 body on a Cybertruck and see what happens.
Tesla, GM, you guys talk to me. We'll get together. We'll make it work.
We just mentioned this now, so on Thursday there will be a headline.
That's how it always works. Every
Yeah.
time. I swear to God.
Yeah.
So, like GM and Ford, car manufacturers are trying to open up, slightly push their way back into actual production here in the U.S. without hurting anyone. Um, we'll go away from that and not talk about the dark side of it. We'll talk about the good side. Bugatti is apparently in on that, and in France they are opening up their plant. So if you were, delayed in getting your Chiron, don't fret. It's coming. They're putting workers back to work in France as well.
I've been waiting.
This is good news for me. Been waiting on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting on it to arrive. Oh God. If I had that amount of money, I can't think of the number of things that I would buy before I bought a Bugatti.
I wouldn't go out
You
and
also
buy...
wouldn't be here.
Probably not.
Oh no, I'd be here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be... I don't think if I had that kind of money, I'd get a nice house and someone to clean it because I'm lazy and I'm not going to clean a 2,500 square foot house. But I'd probably just have a bunch of old Japanese cars that I just handed over to someone, like, here, take my money, strip it completely down, completely restore it, and give it back to me working.
So you become Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the news. I'm not going to read over the whole articles verbatim, but if you want to read up about how the U.S. government doesn't give a shit about your safety, Vice, Automotive News, and Jalopnik all put out articles talking about how the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration hasn't upgraded their testing on cars in about a decade. even though the market has shifted completely to 74% is SUVs and trucks.
God.
Those are different than sedans and smaller cars, so they kind of should be tested in a different way. Anyway, that hasn't happened, so if you want to read about it, there's a couple different places out there to do so. It's really interesting reads, and it's pretty scary if you want more bad news in your life.
Frankly, we're just lucky that the Georgia Highway Administration isn't in charge of testing, because then everything would just pass.
It was something like, I want to say 17,000 kids have gotten their license. It was either 7,000 or 17,000. It's insane the amount of people who are fresh new drivers in Georgia now and don't know what they're doing.
Oh my God.
Well, to be fair, we also made the counterpoint last week that we may just not need driving tests.
True.
True.
But
if we don't have driving tests, we should probably have safe SUVs. So,
because you know all those kids are driving like '02 to '05 Explorers, like that's what they all have.
My first car was a '97 Expedition.
Mm-hmm. An Expedition.
I could have done some serious, I could have done some serious damage.
Yeah. Well, speaking of pedestrians and lack of safety, major cities are now blocking off roads to widen out sidewalks and also take over a road for social distancing foot traffic.
That's not...
Haven't seen Atlanta be one of those cities, though.
They're actually just putting the sidewalks in the middle of the street.
It's for their 16-year-olds to run you over with their expeditions.
Population control.
It's a sidewalk / turning lane, is what it is. I would love to see like some herd immunity kind of like approach the guy, go like, we're getting rid of sidewalks completely. You just have to hug the walls as you walk, as you walk down the road.
That's the complete opposite of social distancing.
Right.
Let me hold your hand, David. Come on, let's make this corner together.
We got this, man. We can do it.
Who the fuck are you? My name's not David.
You're not my mother or my father.
That got weird.
But speaking of your father and your mother. Father? Mother father?
That's both of them when they do the fusion.
Anyway.
You father muckers.
They may have bought a Harley in their life. Nathan.
Yeah.
My dad owned one.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason they have died is because our generation, they haven't really cared to buy them. Well, Harley Davidson has decided we don't really know what's going to fix that, but it wasn't our old CEO. He was fired back in February. They now have announced they have a new CEO.
Carlos Ghosn.
Nathan. No, close. He's got an interesting name. But Nathan, I cannot pronounce that. Would you please pronounce this guy's name?
Let me open up my link, or open it up here. Oh, it's Jochen Zeitz.
It is just joking? You're
joking. I wasn't going to try to butcher it.
It's probably, honestly, it might be Jochen. Jochen Zeitz.
Think, but...
I was going to pronounce it Shin. Joshin.
Could be.
Yeah.
Either way, that is the new CEO. He was apparently the former CEO of Puma for 18 years and the head chair of Harley Davidson. So he was given the interim job in February and now has it full time. Apparently, when he took over at Puma, they were failing and bankrupt. Kind of a similar situation as to Harley right now.
Yeah.
He can do the same job of making them successful. Don't know, but they're at least hoping.
I would say those are two very different companies, but I think at that level, the CEO and the chairs and all those people, at that point, it's just numbers, sales, marketing. Like
it's organizational.
Yeah.
Like you delegate everything unless you have a specific skill. Unless you're really good at marketing, which maybe that might be what they brought him in for, is to kind of up their market, because guess what they're not able to do right now? Market to the people that are in the buying market. So I know I always come back to marketing is important, but
well, when you're dealing with a company like that, it's brand, which is marketing. It doesn't matter the product. It doesn't matter if it's a bike or a table or a shoe. When you're that big, it's a brand, and you're trying to sell the brand, and they don't have clients anymore to sell to because the people that were buying them are all 60 years old now
Mm-hmm.
and either have their bike or don't care to have another one. And the people that are our age don't care for Harleys.
Yeah.
So
20 bucks. 20 bucks says that there's a Harley Puma coming out soon.
All right.
interesting.
I just think I think our generation, like basically me and younger, let's go there. We don't care for the culture. I think biking is so much about culture. And even my brother that drives a Harley as his everyday driving vehicle doesn't care for biking culture.
Mm-hmm.
Likes to ride his bike. And so so it's one of those because I think did you guys ever watch Sons of Anarchy at all? I watched it a little bit, but it was not good. Like none of the biking kind of like brotherhood of bike, like none of that interested me at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll see what happens. It could be a lot of different things. But it sucked to see, a classic commodity like that die off. But at the same time, for me personally, I don't care if Harley goes.
Yeah, there's.
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't care if they go, but I think what they're gonna have to do is sacrifice the old generation if they want to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And
that EV bike they're working on, the Livewire or whatever. I mean, that's like, if I cared to bike, that's a nice bike.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and what they're dealing with, I think, and what it tells me that they brought in a new CEO for a company that has, like, for a shoe company that has to stay at the front line of like being able to sell to the people that buy shoes. What that tells me is they're ready to take the step of, we might ostracize the 50 plus group that we've always tried to keep intact, to be able to market and bring out new, because I know a lot of the pushback from Harley buyers was, well, if you're going to make that bike, we're not going to buy Harley anymore. And I think Harley's going to have to go like, okay, well, you're not going to buy Harley anymore. Sorry.
And we saw that with the Corvette. It went from being such a bog standard American muscle car, now it's a supercar, and it's got a different market, but it's probably going to sell just as well, if not better, than to the 50-year-olds that aren't going to ever put their foot down.
Well, and there was an article about the Mustang this week saying that the plans for the next generation, not the next one, but like the one after that, Ford is seriously considering going hybrid and all-wheel drive.
They've been toying with that for a while. They've got an EV Mustang. It's replacing the 4-cylinder, and they were talking about moving the V8 down to the hybrid, and they've been playing with that. It's going to happen. And back to the Corvette portion, I was reading some financial stuff when working on our news, and Corvette alone is going to account for roughly $2.3 billion this year in GM sales, which is almost 6% of their sales. This year alone is going to be just the C8.
Damn.
I saw another one yesterday.
Yeah, it's a huge brand, and that's what's going to be the thing. Like, doesn't matter if the 50-year-olds who wanted the C7 just upgraded. We don't give a shit about them. We're going to sell the C8, just like Harley's going to sell the Livewire. If they bring it out, it'll sell. Doesn't matter that it's going to be 50-year-olds.
By the way, it's nowhere near the size of it, but in black, which is the one that I saw yesterday, I took a drive through the Ozarks with my wife. In black, major McLaren P1 vibes.
Ooh.
Like just aggressive and like,
it's got some lines.
Angry.
Eileen was like, that car looks angry. I'm like, it's kind of supposed to.
It's a supercar.
Yeah.
Well, not quite supercar level, but the Ford Mustang, the GT, the 5-liter V8, has a new package, a new performance package DLC available for you. It is called the M-9603-M8B Performance Package.
Just rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, if you're looking to get an extra 19 horsepower downloaded to your car, take it on into your certified Ford dealership, and they actually will download a new, get it right here, a new throttle mapping, which will increase your horsepower 19 and your torque 17 for a total of 479 horsepower and 438 foot-pounds of torque. This DLC works on automatics and manuals, and for the automatic transmissions, it will actually have you a better shift schedule. Package costs $1,200 as well.
I was just about to ask. Okay, so this is just engine tuning. We've seen it constantly. You go buy an access port for $400 off the internet, plug it in, and say, hey, change a few things. You got that. So they're charging 3 times as much.
To do it for you. and it's certified by Ford.
That's
and it
true.
comes with a 3-year warranty. So it's not you plugging it into your car and maybe breaking it, which you might. I've seen some programs out there that have killed some ECUs.
Oh yeah.
But
and then your warranty is void.
Yes.
The original one.
Yeah, and this does only work on the 2018 through 2020 Mustangs. So if you want a fully legit DLC, you can do it. But yes, Zach, if you want to hack it for cheaper, you can do it. You just may break your Mustang if you do it.
Does the DLC at least come with some new skins or like a new mount or maybe like a companion of any sort?
It does. It does come with a year free of Amazon Prime. So
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
That's yeah.
Can we get?
That
is there
a
an
joke.
expansion pass?
We cannot be sued for that.
If I have anything to say about it, we'll eventually get sued. Let's do
this.
Yeah. Who's paying for the lawyers?
I have one on a retainer. It's fine.
Okay. I mean, you have Chiron money, so you might as well.
I do. And my best friend's a lawyer.
A good friend of mine's wife's a lawyer, but immigration lawyer, but surely she could help if need be.
I know her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, so the last bit of news for this week is maybe some good news for Zach. Maybe. We'll see. Automotive News has an anonymous source. We don't know who. We're going to say anonymous. That is saying Nissan is in the works to up its output to the U.S., and that includes new cars. Quote, it's about products, better products, new products, and on-time products. The person also goes on to state that Nissan will be taking from other countries to give to the U.S., along with China and Japan. And apparently those efforts in a slightly reopened China have actually been good for Nissan in that their sales this year are now equal to what they were last year at this point as well. So even with coronavirus and a lowered number of sales to start the year out, they've actually equaled what they did last year in China already. Now, all they need to do to solidify all this is to finally bring out the 400Z.
And the new Skyline. Let's get the Performance Sentras back. Let's get the Silvia back. Let's get some sports cars. Let's get some fun stuff back.
I am not looking forward to the day where we can't mess with Zach about Nissan. Like if they pull this off. So
what they're going to do is they're going to start succeeding, and they're going to go, wait. Why were we succeeding before? Gosen, let's hire him back. That's what they're going to do.
We're missing a spirit, of that Carlos Ghosn age. No, I think what's funny is what you listed off, like their approach, like with all the different like products on time, good product, new products, that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, we're gonna be a car company.
That's what you're supposed to be doing the entire time that you're a company that sells any kind of product. So
it's like we've done some research of our competitors, and it turns out they make cars
and they make new ones,
sell them to the public.
What? No.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, and sometimes they come out with whole new ones, like out of thin air.
How do they do it?
The new CEO has got everyone brainwashed.
What's really funny, you have to go back and talk about him. He said you can fire me immediately and take all the money I've made back when he took over if I don't succeed. But he never put a timestamp on how long it would take to succeed. And then also, with coronavirus, does he get to just go, nah, mulligan, man. I'm not taking the reins on this one.
It's like a first-year head coach when like your star quarterback gets injured first play of the game. You're like, oh, well, we didn't have him this year. I need another one. But I also think, just from based on what we've said, like he came in with such confidence in saying that because he knew all he had to say was, "We're going to build cars and sell them," something they hadn't done.
Yeah.
Now we do have to say that they have cut back their manufacturing capabilities. They cut back from being able to produce about 7.5 million a year down to 5, and they are affecting other countries to where they're not going to be selling there or pushing there. But they are putting their efforts into their biggest markets: hometown, China, and the U.S. I mean, China and the U.S. are the biggest car markets in the world right now, and then also, oddly enough, South America is like huge in the car game. But then also you have to hit up your own home. Like if you're not selling cars in your own house, then
Yeah.
you're kind of like messing up right there. So I mean that's how they're doing it. Is they're cutting back on building cars to build more cars in certain areas. So
It
Yep.
hopefully works.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I just hope the 400Z makes it out because
It could be great.
yeah. Well, that's all I had for the news, guys. You got anything else to add to that?
Oh, what was it?
Oh, I do have one thing. It's kind of like a silly little thing, but I will give me 1 second. I'm going to post something in chat for you guys to see. So, funny thing, Porsche announced this week that if you have an old 911 or 944, anything like that, that has kind of like your basic tape deck console, like in the middle of the console, they are selling, and you can take it into your Porsche dealership once you order it, the same size, the same layout, but it's actually got phone connectivity, SD card access, navigation. Basically, it's a modern console that you can put in your old Porsche.
Nice.
It's supposed to look hideous.
It's great. Like that's a great idea, but God, that looks awful.
Well, it looks exactly like they currently do. So, like, if you got in and you didn't actually like pay attention, well,
Yeah, you wouldn't
Porsches
know.
from the '80s, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Old head units
I
were
love
not.
this.
They were not pretty by any
Yeah.
means.
I kind of love
No.
it. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
if I still had my-
it's great.
if I had my old Jeep and Jeep offered this, like, I'd be like, yeah, put it right there. So,
Yeah, no, it looks just like what the car would. It's just it kept the look of the ugly head units.
it's even got the sheen of those '90s, like, just like the things that just looked ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hard to say, like that charcoal gray
Plastic, like
matte
the shiny
finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few companies like Jegs and Summit actually make like retro head units for like your 50s truck. So it's got a modern tuner and it's got Bluetooth connectivity, but it looks like the old school, like, you've got to scroll the little pin over to tune the radio.
Nice.
So if they did that for my car, I would definitely buy an old school one, even though it was hideous and brushed aluminum everything. Everything was just a shiny brushed aluminum that's nowhere else in the car except for the radio. And it looks so out of place, but it's so perfectly 80s. I want one. Anyway.
Well, anyway, I saw that when I was looking up car news, so I thought that was fun. So, but so Zach, do you have?
I don't have a fastest by the decade. I dragged my feet, started working on it this morning, and then went down a different rabbit hole. So I have something to talk about,
Okay.
but nothing actually built out. So it's probably going to be short. So we can do that now, or we can do that after left field, or just not do it. However,
I'll do left field really quick. If do you guys ever go to drivetribe.com?
occasionally it pops up in my newsfeed.
I started. That's where it was originally started by some of the Top Gear producers after Top Gear left to become the Grand Tour. So, like, in the meantime, they were posting things. James May, Jeremy Clarkson, and Richard Hammond were all writing basically blog articles for the site. And then one of my favorite things is, because I follow them on Twitter, they'll just do random, their writers, their bloggers will just post random quizzes. And a lot of them are like, can you name, they'll show you like different fenders and you have to name the supercar or something like that. But they also do like personality tests. So before we started recording today, I had all three of us take a personality test. We had to build a meal, and then it told us what our dream car should be. So
I'm very
I don't
curious.
have all of the options, but it should come as no surprise that two of us got the same car. And I'm blaming both of you for having such similar answers because you both got the Fisker Karma.
Okay.
So, whatever you thought your dream car was, the Fisker Karma is actually the correct one, just so you know. So I think both of you had the same starter. You had the goat cheese and onion little packets, and you both got one of you had the tart, one of you had the filet. But I think it was bookending both the meals with a beer apiece for both of you that really hammered it home. So yeah, so I actually did intentionally, but also because I probably built my meal a little different. I ended up with a Mini as my dream car.
They're fun.
I would not say no to a Mini.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta say, the Fisker Karma looks like the shitty brother of the Z8. Like the shitty bigger brother of the Z8. Like, it is not that pretty.
It's got that big, long front grille.
Yeah.
But let's look at some specs on it. Terrible NPCs.
It was one of the first. It's been around for a while now.
Yeah. 403 horsepower.
Not bad. Not bad.
I'll
There you
take
go.
that. Yeah.
There you go.
If only it didn't look so ugly.
All right, I got it. I have it in my head, but I need to look at it again. Oh yeah, it looks like if Pixar was like trying to like draw a happy nurse shark.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But anyway, scrap whatever your dream car scenario was. This is now it. I apologize if it's not what you were wanting, but now it has to be. So
I'll have to make some changes.
yeah.
Especially considering this is a lot more money than my current dream car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, Zach, there was a quiz not too long ago where they ask you questions about what you want from a car, and they give you your best 80s and 90s Japanese vehicle.
I want to take that one. I'm really curious about that one now. I highly doubt the 200SX is on there, but...
You're like, oh, a 91 Corolla. That's weird.
Oh. Okay.
Don't knock it. Great car.
It is.
So, but no, that's all I had for left field. So.
You cut out.
True?
Or I didn't hear Barry. I heard you. I didn't hear Barry.
Oh.
I just said it was fun.
Good.
So I don't even know what this segment would be. Down a rabbit hole with Zach, I guess. I was doing some research on the 90s fastest car.
An offshoot of an offshoot.
It's what I do. I'm going to keep going down this rabbit hole. And
good job.
Yeah. I know we've talked about him a time or two. I don't know how in-depth we've ever talked about him, but the Sultan of Brunei. Now, a lot of people in the car community kind of know about him because he has an insane car collection, which he actually owns the fastest car of the 90s, which is how I ended up here. But I found actually a list of, I highly doubt it's all of the cars. It's probably inaccurate, but going through it, and I was really surprised. When you expect someone to have millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in cars, you expect Ferraris, Porsches, all of that, and which he does have. But he's also got stuff. He's got an original AC Cobra, an Alpha 164, an insane amount of AMG and Mercedes cars, all the Astons you could ever want. His Audi collection interests me because most people, when they buy a performance Audi, they get the S whatever or the RS whatever, but it's mostly A8s and A4s, like the base model Audi cars. A ton of Bentleys. A lot of Bentleys. A lot of BMW 750s and 850s. A couple 5 Series.
Why have multiples of the same car?
Oh,
Like,
dude.
I never understood that.
So just at the BMW 750i, 750i, 735iL, 750iL, 750i, 735iL, 750iL, 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 735iL.
He knows leases exist, right?
Yeah. I mean, or even just buy one of each of the 7 series, like a 735, a 740, a 750, and a
Yeah.
750 IS or something, and then get one with an M edition. Why get 9 750s?
And they're probably all the same year model. They don't have the years on this list. They just have the VINs, which I'm not about to
Yeah.
go down a rabbit hole of trying to find out what it is. He has four Bugatti 110s.
Why do you need more than one?
Yeah.
He has 20 Jeeps, 2 Cherokees.
I get for different generations, but like buying a 2019 and a 2020, they're the same fucking thing.
Yeah, looking at
Buying like a
the
2002 and a 2020, different generation, different car.
right.
Maybe as someone that can afford everything, he doesn't know he can get rid of things.
Well, he
Like
might not
maybe
be
he's
able
just
to.
never gotten rid of things.
He might not be able to afford it too much anymore, minus the slave labor and all the palm oil that he owns. Oil is done.
Yeah.
So that was one
Oil
of
has
the
been selling negative for a while.
I forget which
Yeah.
article it was. It might have been on Drive Tribe actually. One of them was saying that it's kind of hard for him to sell them because a lot of them came from Prince Jeffrey, who is the minister of money or something. What I forget the word I'm looking for. Treasury.
Oh, yeah.
And so some of these cars are the Sultan of Brunei's. Some of them are the princes. Some of them are their nephews. Some of them are their friends. And there may not be a paper trail on a lot of them. So kind of hard to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Someone loaded in money, doing illegal things.
Weird.
Guessed.
Can't you just? He has enough money to make fake titles for these things that he could sign over.
Oh, yeah. There's
You
probably a
run the
ministry for
country,
that.
forge the papers. What are you doing?
You're already just taking shit illegally.
Yeah.
Just put fake papers to it.
But I looked through this list, and there was a couple ones that popped out to me, like a Daihatsu G30S2 forklift.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
nice. Do you think he's certified on that, or?
I highly doubt it.
It's probably what he uses to pick his cars up with.
I'll be by with a forklift to pick up the new car.
Got a couple Ford buses. A metric ton of Honda NSXs. Just a ton of them.
Oh.
He's got like 8 XJ220s. Some other notable ones. He has, I think it was 2 Nissan Bluebird Triple SXs, which is my motor, front wheel drive, and the like old school B14 Sentra platform. And oh my god, they're so good. But yeah, like
So, the real question here is: do we need to somehow get in touch with him
possibly
and say we can
The
take some of these
vehicle?
off his? We can take some of these off his hands.
he has multiple Toyota Previas.
Well,
As we
All
have
the-
mentioned before on this podcast, we're not sponsored. We don't owe anybody any form of like actual benefits, but we're not above being bought.
this is true.
Sultan of Brunei, you want to have a chat?
Yeah.
We don't condone the things you've done to become who you are.
I will
But
take
if
that
you want
Bluebird
to hand
though.
over some.
You know who seems to have really good lives? Movie villains. I'm willing to take that step.
Yeah.
He could definitely
Yeah.
be a John Bond villain, a John villain.
A John Bond villain.
Yes.
John
But-
Bon Jovi.
What's
John Bon Jovi Bond.
What's sad about this though is a lot of these cars used to be held in an AC controlled building.
Mhm.
No more. Apparently, they're just sitting in a warehouse. Some of them outside. Some of them outside with the windows down. There was an article. It's been a while ago where someone went out and was looking through the BMW collection, and their description of, well, the Mercedes collection. Their description of his Mercedes collection was the reef. It is. It's mold. Everything's just falling apart. Like, there's thousands and thousands of these amazing, like the Triple S X Bluebirds. They only made a few of those, and he's got 2 of them rotting. So
seriously, hit him up and see if we can just buy them.
yeah, he's got like 5 F1s. They're just sitting there, dying. All these amazing cars. Anyway, that's all I really had. Like, cool car collection, but fuck you for not taking care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bet none of them have even seen a trickle charger to keep them ready to go.
A few of his XJ220s literally have 0 miles. That car has been sitting there since late 90s.
Well, the only way they've been moved is by forklift.
Yeah, that Daihatsu forklift he's got.
Yeah.
Well, if you out there have a way to get us in touch with the Sultan of Brunei, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, or our YouTube comments if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, this has been the Cars episode. Stick around for Thursday when we do World War Beer.
Yeah.
Matchups 3 and 4?
3 and 4.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Have a good new week.